Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Today I want to go over an install I did yesterday. I made some video of it, and what it is an install of a single shower door, frameless, 3/8. It's actually quite a big door. It's 32 inches wide by 80 inches tall, and I installed it by myself on the second floor. It took me about an hour and a half from the time I rolled up to the curb to the time I got the door installed, and walked away with a satisfied customer. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this, and yeah, let's do it. So the way I'd figure I'd do this is I just went and made the video yesterday. I didn't do any commentary while I was installing. I find that just doesn't work very well. So what I'm going to do is watch the video along with you and explain what I'm doing in the video. And the points behind taking the video I did. So anyway, let's go ahead and start this off. I just wanted to show you how I center the hinges in the opening for the hinge notch. And then as well, I actually take gaffer's tape like this and some little thin blocks that are used for setting glass on, the little thin clear ones. I do tape those to the corners of the glass, because when you're putting it in like this, if you notice, it gets really close to that tile, and that protects the glass from getting chipped on the tile when you're setting it in there. It gives you a little forgiveness. It's really, really, really hard to put it in. I've been doing installs for years, and I still chip sometimes if I don't put this tape on there along with these little thin blocks. So anyway, that's what I'm doing there. So once I get it all in there, actually, yeah. So once I get it all put in there, I try to get it to the reveal I want within the shower. When I'm doing a single door like this, as long as the quickly here, I wanted to point out that when I'm setting the glass on, I took some that matting that you use for a gym floor. It's about, I don't know, a little over 1/4 of an inch, not quite 3/8 of an inch. And then I use some wooden shims on top of that, just regular old wooden shims here. Set that under there. That way I can adjust the door where I want it. So anyway, I wanted to point that out real quick for you. The jambs on the sides of the shower are plumb. I'm not really concerned too much about putting a level on the glass. It's just a little overkill. As long as you make the reveal the same at the top as you do at the bottom. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm kind of putting it back in there. I'm trying to get I'm shooting for a 2-inch back set from the outside of the shower on this one. So I've slided it back in there to about a 2-inch mark. I check the top, and once I get it eyeballed, I'm pretty good at this. I can eyeball it on the plumb and on how plumb the glass is inside the opening. So I'll go ahead with my marker, which was in my mouth there. I'll go ahead and mark the hole locations on the outside. There are holes on the inside. I'll show you how to mark those here in just a sec. But once I get it in there, I'll throw my tape on there and make sure my reveal is good top and bottom, so it's a good even reveal all the way up and down the glass. Check that, check that. See, I mean, if you had somebody else help you with this, sure, it'd be great, but I'm pretty good at doing it as long as I have all my pins and all my tools I need, like the tape measure and the pins and all that stuff set up, ready to go. I don't want to have to set the door in there and then figure that I don't have my pin with me and then have to take the door back out and then go find the pin and then go through the process again. The least amount of times you have to set this door in that hole, the less chance you're going to have a break in that door. So anyway, heads up, plan your work your plan. So anyway, let's see what we got here. So now I take a hinge plate. That little hinge plate there is the hinge plate pattern for the holes on the door. You can actually take your hinge out of the, take your hinge. Well, you see, I dropped that. That's why I put down blankets, because you drop things sometimes. And if you drop a piece of metal on a tile, you can break the tile. So that's why I go ahead and I protect my surfaces. But anyway, I'll put that up and I'll line the holes that I marked before with that hinge plate, and then I'll actually then take and mark the inside holes, which I couldn't get to when I had the door put in there. So this is a little tricky trick. I ordered the extra hinge plate, but if you don't, you don't have to do that. Just go ahead and pull the hinge off and stick it up there. I use 2 different drill bits when I drill it in. This is a 3/16 bit. This tile is actually, or this material I'm going through here is really soft. And that bit goes right through it like butter. So anyway, so I'll first drill the 3/16 holes in the opening there. Get all 4 or all 8 of my holes drilled with that first. And then this just makes it easier. It may seem like a lot more work, but you get more precise holes, more centered holes. And now what I'll do is I'll take the 1/4-inch bit, the same type of bit, and I'll take that and I'll drill the holes out, make them a 1/4-inch hole. Sometimes the tile is really, really hard, like porcelain. I'll just go ahead and I'll mark my holes, and I'll actually use like a hole saw bit. And then once I get my holes drilled, I'll pump the silicone into the holes. If there's any wood back in there, I'll put a pilot hole in there as well. The silicone does 2 things. It acts as a lubricant for the screw, and then it also seals the hole once it dries. Then I'll take and put a plug. This is a 1/4-inch plug. I just had you just saw there in there how I, what the alligator plugs I use. Anyway, the hinges I get don't come with plugs. I don't think any hinges anymore come with plugs. Everybody's so cheap these days when they... Anyway, speaking of why I'm putting this in there, I do upgrade my hinges with the gaskets I put in there. I put some fiber gaskets in there. If you want to go ahead and take a look in the video here, and I'll put a link to what how I upgrade my hinges with the gaskets. You can actually, instead of getting the fiber gaskets, go ahead and just glue in the rubber ones. It's not as good because the rubber compresses over time, and then so you end up having a looser hinge. So over time, your hinge can loosen up because the gaskets actually shrunk. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm getting the screws started. I'm just getting them started because once you get them started, then you can go ahead and take your hand off the door, go down and put your outside screws in at the bottom as well. So that's what I'm doing there. I go ahead and double check everything. This is a flat surface. As you can tell, the material it's just perfectly flat. You got to be really careful, because if you have tile that is not flat and you have high spots, and you go to screw your hinge plate to the wall, you could suck the glass to that high spot and break your door. So it's very, very important that you make sure when you're screwing your screws into the wall and mounting your hinge to the wall that you don't have any high spots that are touching the glass. Believe me, I know. That's one of the expensive experiences I've had. So anyway, so what I'll do now is I'll just jump inside the shower now that the door is nice and mounted to the hinges. Remember, I tightened the hinges to the glass so that I could open the door after I put it in, so I can get to the inside. You see there, I never took my hand off the handle. I am very leery of those. I've never had the screws not hold, but it's just a little paranoid thing I do. So anyway, I go ahead and check the reveal, and that's the distance or the gaps around the door. In this case, I'm actually pretty lucky because, the opening's perfectly square and the door's perfectly square. So, then I'll go ahead and I'll put the screws on the inside of the shower end. That drill I'm using, I'm on low speed, and I do have it set to the torque limiter so that it will won't over tighten the screws, because if you have your screw gun on like drill, it'll frickin' strip that screw. So you got to be really careful. You see, I'm just being really careful there. I'm just like I'm milking that thing in there. Give it a little, blow it a little kiss. Anyway, if you notice my finger there, I'm just kind of just easing that screw in there. You want to be real careful. This is again, double check to make sure that glass is not touching a wall when you're tightening these screws down. So I just kind of feather that screw in there along with the torque limiter on the screw gun. And I'm actually pretty lucky here because I get the screws in the wall, and this thing is almost perfect as it is. So what I did here, it wasn't on the handle side sitting exactly on the shim. So I just loosened the top of the door up. And when I did that, the way the door just dropped that right on top of that shim, and it was perfect. So sometimes you're good, sometimes you're lucky. If the door's not perfect in that opening, you can loosen all the screws up on the hinge plate and just adjust your shims down there until your door is perfectly centered inside that opening. So anyway, now I'm taking my Allen wrench here and I'm torquing it down. Don't over tighten the screws, but you do want to make sure they're tight. With the fiber gaskets, you can actually get the hinge plate tight. With rubber gaskets, it seems like it's just kind of mushy, so you don't ever feel like you get it tight. So that's why I also recommend the fiber gaskets. So anyway, now I just go ahead and pull it all out. It's all good to go. You see I got the tape and stuff on the corners there for the blocks. Go ahead and open that up, remove all that stuff. Now I got a door that's a finished product. I did not show you the video of me putting the sweep on the door, but there's a video in my thing here. You can go ahead and look up on how to put a sweep in there. So anyway, that's a done deal. Satisfied customer, beautiful project. I was really happy with how everything ended up. So anyway, I hope this helps you out. And if you have any questions, just give me a buzz or put something in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, even though you probably will never watch another shower door video. That's the price you have to pay for the thanks you can give me by subscribing. I'm not going to like spam you or anything. So go ahead and subscribe as a thank you if this helped you out. Anyway, have a good one. And yeah, have fun putting that door in.